I'm just gonna wait a little bit, just for these guys to get ready. I just thought I'd put my stream on a bit early. Make sure that everything's actually working. I can actually go on my Twitch and check that shit is working. So yeah, it seems to be fine. So just to give a bit of a backstory on this matchup, both of these guys are in the semi-finals of BSS Classic, which is a best of three, consisting of all three generations of Battlesport singles. I believe DragonWhale beat Megazord last round, and Raj beat Nintendo Geniuses, or it might have been Arctic. Either ways, both of these are lesser known players. Wow, their teams are exactly the same. These are both essentially, that is the rank 1 team in season 14. Very, very funny. With, I think it's Curse Fairthorn, regular Dragonite. This is like a weird Snorlax set. Snorlax, like a Legion set. We've got and Greninja and Mimikyu, just standard broken things. I wonder what will be brought in this. I can't remember these sets off by heart, but obviously if I was in this position, I'd be looking at some Pokepaste somewhere. In this matchup, I mean, Snorlax looks very, very solid. Especially if it has something like Earthquake, I expect it to be, if it's like a Yawn plus 5-punch Earthquake, double-edged set with like 50% berry, that could be very good. Salamence also could be very good if it's like a mixed set, but obviously the Greninja and the Mimikyu. So it would be interesting. It's just depending on the sets more than anything else, and I can't think of them off the top of my head. I mean, Ferrothorn is another thing that can be annoying to pretty much everything except Heatran. So maybe if I was them, I'd be bringing Heatran, Snorlax, maybe one of Greninja or Mimikyu. I don't know. It's interesting. A lot of it does depend on the sets, though, really. But hopefully these guys will start in a second. I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, yeah, this is a semi-final, but they've brought the same team. Oh, Balloon-tran. Actually, Balloon-tran is solid against team. So he switched out into the Snorlax. See, I'm expecting that was a hidden power ice. So Balloon-tran probably offensive. I'm surprised that Raj didn't go for something different there. But DragonWhale's switched into Ferrothorn as his Snorlax check, brought Salamence back in. Very, lucky Leech Seed avoid actually there, because you can more safely switch into other stuff with the Leech Seed recovery. For example, he's going to switch into Heatran here on Hyper. I don't agree with that play from DragonWhale really. The thing is, I guess he's predicting the fire move. At least both of these guys probably know both of their Salamence sets. But Hyper Voice is a decent mid-ground play there that also hits the Ferrothorn hard. It's probably like a curse set. So return Earthquake. I'm expecting this. I mean, if he's cursed Recycle, I just start cursing, to be honest. Oh, it could be Curse Ferrothorn, no. I guess. With Return and Earthquake, you can't actually beat. well, you can PP stall Ferrothorn, but it's hard to say. So we see both of them have brought Snorlax at least. DragonWhale's got double steel plus Snorlax, and the Salamence immunity. So this is definitely Yawn. It must be Yawn. Immunity Snorlax is not actually that bad. I'm just reading what Salem is saying, I think, but hey, the fact is that getting continual chip off on Heatran is really good here, but maybe he'll struggle to switch into this Heatran this time, because a fire move could easily come out here. I don't think, because this is more than likely a max speed non-bulky Salamence. Is he gonna get the berry? Yeah. So see the Mago come out from Snorlax. Yeah, that for me, the Earthquake there for sure shows that it's not Recycle, because Recycle is just an easy play that allows him to switch back into Heatran. Yeah. We're going to see another Hyper Voice come out from Raj. Yeah, so doesn't do much. The fact is that the Snorlax is there, Snorlax does give a really decent check to the special Salamence. So maybe it wasn't that good in this matchup. If it's mixed, it could have been decent, if it had double edge, basically. But anyways, we see the double into Ferrothorn. Maybe SD, Ghostium Z can KO from this range, but he can go Snorlax. You go see the Ghostium Z come out. Oh, that is awful. I guess he can. So we see a Toxic plus Leech. He has to be a bit careful here though, because I assume a Play Rough is going to come out now. He can go back into Ferrothorn. DragonWhale can, but I mean Heatran's gonna die. Ferrothorn probably will live a +3 Play Rough and get into Bulky Berry range. But you are starting to risk it there. Oh, he calls out the Ferrothorn, but it still lives actually. Never mind, Mimikyu's weak as shit without a Z move. I feel like the early trigger on the Z move has actually cost Raj. If he'd have just gone for a Shadow Claw, then he'd be in a lot better position, because he could threaten the Z still. Oh, it's the Toxic Encounter immunity lax. Yeah, I did know the lax had some sort of weird set. I thought it was Yawn only lax, so I just feel like the reason that Raj is losing this game, actually he was in a good position when he brought in his Mimikyu there, but just I think the fact that DragonWhale also knows his team, he knows it's the Ghostium Z, so you're just basically on, and that's so unfortunate that the Earthquake doesn't kill, because now he's definitely lost. Because right here you just go into Snorlax, right? Even the thing is, you don't even need to risk Heatran. You can just go straight into Snorlax. This thing, I guess it has HP Ice. And his DragonWhale Snorlax does nothing here now. You might as well just fodder it off. So yeah, the Mago Bear's been eaten. obviously you don't risk the earthquake. I'm not sure about Ferrothorn here, because you've put it in KO range of a second earthquake. Now DragonWhale can actually win if he burns because he can just Raj can just spam counter here. I think it's a correct play to spam counter, because counter would have done more damage and actually burnt the berry, and then he can win with or he can actually no, maybe what Raj is doing is actually smarter, and just hyper voicing here, KOing Snorlax, and yeah, I don't like sacking the Ferrothorn. Was not a smart play at all here, and hyper voice fortunately isn't going to KO. So DragonWhale has got it, but I don't know. I feel like Raj had the tools to win the game. It was just his play around his Mimikyu, where essentially if he goes to Zed into anything but that Snorlax, he would have won, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure about the quality of the game, but obviously, like, when you play pure mirror matches, it's actually very hard to play these sorts of games effectively, because you've got to think in mind that your opponent knows your team. Draco wouldn't have killed Heatran. I'm assuming, it would have taken it decently enough. What did Hyper Voice do? It did 20. Yeah, it would have done about. It could have kept. It depends on the role on Hyper Voice. I doubt it though. We got a GBU game anyways coming up. Both of them running somewhat standardish GBU teams. We see definitely DragonWhale is very standard. The usual suspects: Suicune, Dragonite, Sizzle. Conk actually fucking destroys Raj's team. He should be very worried about Conkeldurr in particular. Raj needs his Latios this game specifically to deal with Conk, because a lot of Conks can at least do a lot of damage to Suicune. Something like a guts drain punch will be able to 1v1 most Suicune sets, even if it's like Resto Chesto, just because of the huge amount of recovery you get. Other than that, looking at Raj's team, always interesting to see Blaziken, probably a Life Orb or a Gem set. Don't think it's brilliant here. I mean, there's the Suicune, and the Conk is the problem. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes. A lot of it just depends on the sets. We have Sandrill. I don't think it's too useful here. For one thing for sure though, Raj needs his Latios, and it's difficult to say. The best thing, by the way, that guy in the chat, Tectonic Destroyer, who's asking about GBU, is that bring offensive teams that hit hard. I think in GBU, the key is having decent teams. Gives you such an advantage, and especially, essentially, what you want to do is it's like a box, like one of those like really intense boxing matches where just the punches are being thrown out. Essentially, you just try and punch harder than the other guy. That's why you have very strong mons at the top of the meta, like Conquerdor, Dragonite. Scizor here, it could be a superpower variant. Everything else won't kill. Well, maybe Bandit superpower will kill. It depends on the Ferrothorn's bed. Most Ferrothorns here are. That was an awful play going into Latios. Well, there was an awful play. I was going to say more likely he's going to U-turn. Raj, that was actually awful. So yeah, I guess press F to pay respects. Hey, now he has no Conquerdor check. The one thing he needed to preserve was his Latios to actually win the game. If he wants to scout for a U-turn, I don't know what his last is, but Suicune seemed like a reasonable last here, able to sponge up hits from Dragonite and Mamoswine and Scizor, and at least do damage to Conk, and it goes even against opposing Suicune. Depends on the set. Most of them nowadays seem to be Resto Chesto, but you can see the odd Assault Vest. Right here from this position, full health Conk, full health Scizor. Suicune can win. Depends on the Conquerdor set. Blaziken will just die to Conk. I don't know, unless Blaziken learns Zen Headbutt. Or he could learn Brave Bird. Brave Bird Blaziken can win, but I'd assume Bullet Punch, not Bullet Punch, Mag Punch Conquerdor into Bullet Punch, or maybe DragonWhale has his own Suicune, which is, it's okay. It's good against the Sand plus the Blaziken. Yeah, I'm not gonna comment more on the Latios into the Scizor. It was quite obvious that either DragonWhale was going to superpower or get out of there. I mean, yes, Latios does cover the superpower, but I feel like you have to make a mid-ground play there if you're thinking, oh, he's gonna superpower. And Ferrothorn may well, I don't know the exact calcs. If it was me playing the game, I'd actually have calced that. Ferrothorn may well live the superpower. But I guess when he has Conquerdor and Dragonite will run Fire Punch almost always for Scizor and Ferrothorn. It can run superpower as well instead. So yeah, the only way Raj can win is just Mach Punch into Brave Bird recoil mean he dies to Scizor Bullet Punch. It could do. Conk will should always have Mach Punch. Just for picking off Extra Drill and chipping away at this one here, Blaziken. And Mamoswine. Oh, he has. So Life Orb, probably High Jump Kick, HP Ice, and Protect. Yeah, High Jump and Flare Blitz, obviously. I'm surprised he switched hard into Suicune there, but I guess it's fine because Suicune doesn't have much use in the matchup. I'd have honestly just Drain Punch with my Conquerdor. Drain Punch into Mach Punch will always KO. I guess he was fearing what's it called? The Brave Bird, but I think it's relatively rare. And Suicune will always KO with Surf, but I guess you're risking things. Right here, if you're Conk, I think you bulk up if you have it, otherwise you just Drain Punch. Could be Thunder Wave on the Ferrothorn. A Power Whip is not going to be enough. So DragonWhale will win this 2-0. The reason Raj lost this game was, yeah, he could have switched his, even switching in his Blaziken would have been better than switching in Latios. Latios was super needed this game, especially if it was in, well, he couldn't have been Life Orb because Blaziken was, but something like maybe Dragon Gem with HP Ice would have wrecked through DragonWhale's team. Not all Latioses are HP Fire. Some of them are Surf over HP Fire, because the thing with HP Fire is you have to use 30 speed IVs, which means you actually lose the Latios speed tie. And obviously Latios being one of the best mons in GBU, sometimes if your team doesn't have a good Latios check, like this team is fine versus Latios because it has T-Tar Drill, and plus Speed Boost Blaziken's HP Ice. But some teams they will run HP Fireless Latios. I don't know. One trick only. I honestly don't know why Raj did what he did. I think he's just like, the thing with Raj is I know he's got a history with the tournament scene, but he's a newer player to BSS, so I'm assuming the nerves are getting to him a bit. You know, it's a semi-final. It's probably the first time he's made it far in the tour, so you know you can't blame him. He's done well, I think, for where he's at. So you know, anyways, congratulations to DragonWhale. He'll be playing Jamal98 in the finals, which will take place sometime next week. And I guess I should sign off, most likely. Thanks for everyone who took the time to tune in, and you know, I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Maybe I'll upload this to YouTube. Let's see how I feel. Would I look back through it? Alright, I'm off.